must be fulfilled.
When there comes into your midst a prophet or a dreamer, you shall not listen to the words of this prophet. The Almighty you shall follow, and Him alone you shall fear. The Almighty warns us to be watchful for false prophets, those who lead the people astray. And I have always watched for my people and the temple. And on this night of watching, the Almighty brought me face to face with Jesus of Nazareth. So, Jesus the Nazarene, oh, you have left well enough alone. What do you mean by coming here and stirring up our people like this? Huh? Has no one told you that the Romans are the rulers of this age? You're not uninformed. Surely you know what they do to self-proclaimed kings. Are you on a mission to sacrifice yourself? What have you been telling our people? Huh? Who are your followers?
I spoke openly to the world. I taught in the synagogues and in the temple, where all the Jews meet together. I have said nothing in secret. Why do you ask me? Ask those who heard me. They know what I said to them.
This man won't speak in his own defense. Take him to Caiaphas. The man was a mystery. Did he want to die? At daybreak, the council of the elders and the chief priests also interrogated Jesus. Witnesses came forward. We considered the evidence. If you are the Messiah, tell us.
If I tell you, you will not believe me. And if I question you, you will not answer. But from now on, the Son of Man will be seated at the right hand of the power of God.
Are you then the Son of God?
You say that I am.
What further testimony do we need? We've heard it ourselves from His own mouth. He said it Himself. Jesus of Nazareth really believed that He was the Messiah, the King of Israel. Oh, He was as dangerous as we thought. Now we hate handing over one of our own people to Rome. A situation like this is rare indeed. But we had to protect the lives of our people. So we took Him to Pilate.
So, the rebel leader, the priest of found the rebel leader. These Jews, they're scattered and separated from all the provinces of the empire. Their laws are different from those of other people. And they do not obey the emperor's laws. Why does the emperor tolerate them? Let's go out and deal with them. Why do more Jews to be crucified? What accusation do you bring against this man?
If this fellow were not doing evil, we would not have handed him over to you. He is misleading our nation. He says he is the Messiah, a king.
Are you the king of the Jews?
You say so.
You hear this testimony they bring against you? I find no guilt in this man. Isn't he a Galilean? Then he's under Herod's power. Send him to Herod. Let Herod be his judge.
So they took Jesus to Herod, ruler of Galilee. Herod asked Jesus many questions, and Jesus gave him no answer at all. Not once did he open his mouth. Herod mocked Jesus, and yet he did not open his mouth. Like the Passover lambs, as we examine them for defects, so he was silent. And on this very same day, thousands of lambs will be sacrificed in the temple. Each lamb must be carefully examined to make sure that it is pure and spotless. And then the examiner washes his hands and hands the lamb over to be sacrificed.
I've examined this man in your presence, and I found nothing guilty in him. Neither did Herod. Fortune to back to me. And see, he has done nothing to deserve death. I haven't flogged and released him.
This man is leading the people astray. Anyone who claims to be a king opposes the emperor.
crucify him. Write this. I put it on the cross. Jesus, the Nazarene, the King of the Jews.
Don't write King of the Jews. Write that this man said of himself, I am King of the Jews.
What I have spoken, I have spoken!
Rejected, surely we have seen this now. Nothing to make us desire. You keep your majesty. Not one attractment to him. Yet he took up our brothers. All the noise of suffering. He was a man of sorrow. Acquainted with our grief. Abandoned, lost, and rejected. Surely we have seen this now. Nothing to make us desire. Not one attracted to him, yet he took up our brothers. One amount of suffering.
Sacrifice of the Passover lambs. All the lambs must be sacrificed and their blood poured out before sundown. Each father sacrifices a lamb for his family. In the same way, the father of my people Abraham ascended this mountain many years ago to sacrifice Isaac, his son, his only son, whom he loved. Calls his father, loving, good father, to sacrifice his only son. The command of the Almighty. The Almighty did this only to test Abraham, and in the last minutes he rescued the boy. The cost of Abraham's obedience. Who can know the agony of the father preparing to slay his only begotten son? Who can know the anguish of the son about to die by the will of the father? And this place, the mountain of the Lord's temple, is Mount Moriah, the very place where Abraham found Isaac. Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and he placed it on Isaac his son. And as one who bears the cross on his shoulder, Isaac asked his father, "But where is the lamb for the sacrifice?" And Abraham said, "The Lord himself will provide the lamb." Down the Via Dolorosa in Jerusalem that day, the soldiers tried to clear the narrow street, but the crowd pressed in to see the man condemned to die on Calvary. He was bleeding from a beating, there were stripes upon his back, and he wore a crown of thorns upon his head, and he bore with every step the scorn of those who cried out for his death.
Down the Via Dolorosa, called the way of suffering, like the Lamb came the Messiah, Christ the King.
But he chose to walk that road
Out of his love for you and me.
down the Via Dolorosa, all the way to Calvary.